Hi guys, welcome back to another Power Hour Speed Clean and Tidy with me. I'm going to get as much done as I can in an hour. I'm tackling my children's very messy bedrooms. I need to get them tidied, the beds changed. If you're new around here, hi, I am Ree from mummyoffour.com. Stick around for lots more speed cleaning content. So we're going to start in Zara's room, and oh dear, this room is always the messiest one in the house. There's a lot of storage in here, but it does mean she's only 4. She pulls a lot of stuff out and doesn't always put it away again. And she's just not at the stage yet where she's good at tidying. I'm sure we'll get there. So I'm going to, as always, pop an AirPod into my ear. I only ever use one at a time, so if one goes flat, I can swap it over. The children are not home at the moment, but if they are home, I've got one ear to listen out for them and the other one for listening to audiobooks, music, whatever. And I do find that listening to something, or sometimes I'd have a YouTube video on my phone and then I'd still be able to listen to it on my AirPods. So you could listen to this YouTube video on headphones, for example, while you do your cleaning and tidying. We can keep each other company. So I'm stripping Zara's bed. I tend to alternate. I do the mattress protector every other bed change as a rule. I keep the children's bedding in each of their rooms. This is a habit I got into so that if one of them, it's not fun, but if it happens, is sick in the middle of the night, I've got everything I need within that room without disturbing anyone else in the house to change their bed and put everything back to clean and tidy. It's never fun to be woken up by vomit, but we've all been there, and having the bedding in each room, it also makes it easier, doesn't it? Because let's face it, the stuff being where you need it to be in order to do things like change the beds just saves a bit of time. So we're swapping for Christmas bedding, guys. The children have been asking for their Christmas bedding. I am filming this in November. Our tree has already gone up. There is a little decorate with me video here on this channel if you're interested. The girls have got, I think they've got 2 sets of Christmas bedding. I will link all the bedding and things down in the description. It's actually a blog post I do to go with each video, and in that blog post there are pictures and links to everything mentioned, so take a look at that. I tend to do one with every single video. So the girls' beds aren't too bad to change. I do need to do William's bed later, which is a lot more of a pain because it's a higher bed. So we'll address that later. If hopefully I can fit that in during this power hour. Who knows? It's always hard to judge how much you're actually going to get done, isn't it, during your little power hour. So I've changed the sheets, changed the pillowcases, changed the duvet cover, and now to put all of the teddies back on the bed. That very raggedy looking little teddy in the red dress, it was my first ever teddy when I was little. She's called Penny Bear. Apparently that was the name she was given. She was from Mothercare. Did anyone else have a Penny Bear from Mothercare who is about my age, which is late 30s? So I just wondered if anyone else had them. Totally unrelated to cleaning and tidying, but who knows, did anyone else have one? So the other thing I wanted to ask is how many other people's children are obsessed with having loads of teddies on their bed? Zara loves it. She loves having all her teddies. It does make it harder to clean and tidy, but then if it makes them happy, it makes them happier to get into bed and go to sleep, then great. This little bed next to, not a bed, table. This little table next to Zara's bed, she puts a little drink on it. They sit and do things and play at the little tables during the day. I have just run off now to fetch some cleaning stuff because I've realised it's pretty grim. So I've got some Method Antibac, the rhubarb smelling one, which is lovely. It just smells like sweets. So we can give the table a bit of a clean over because quite frankly, it was just dusty, disgusting. Now, I don't know how much actual cleaning I'm going to get done in this power hour. So far it's been tidying and bed changing. But do you find that when you go to do cleaning, this is my personal experience, you spend so much time tidying and clearing up before you can actually do any cleaning that you don't always have time to do as much cleaning as you would like to do? So, for example, you can't clean this room at all because you can't see the floor. So you've got to tidy before you can clean. Is that what you find in your experience too? So some socks, Zara likes pulling out things that she hasn't worn. So those particular socks were just pulled out and left on the floor, but they were clean, so they needed to just go away. I'm not sure how many other people's children like doing this, just pulling clothing out. You've got to play the guessing game of, has this been worn? Should it go in the wash? Or does it need to just go away? My children are not too bad actually at putting things in the wash. The older ones, so of the older three, Bella is the youngest of the older three, if that makes sense, and she's 6. So she will put all her stuff in the wash, no problem. Zara's 4, and we're still working on it. She's not, I wouldn't say she's not bad for a 4-year-old. She's pretty good for her age at putting things in the wash, but she still needs lots of encouraging in order to, well, we're not just there well, she's doing it automatically without encouraging. But I'm confident, as my older children do it quite automatically, that she'll do the same. The books, they get in a bit of a mess. I love that they've got access to all these books to read, but the problem is when they get tidied up, I ask them to clear the floor, the children, for example, and they'll just shove them back and they're all higgledy-piggledy and then they don't fit properly. So in order to tidy the bookshelf, they just have to pull everything out in order to put it back in neatly. What I do find though, as much as my children do not enjoy tidying their bedrooms, they really love it when they are tidy. And in fact, the tidier their bedrooms are, the easier they find keeping them tidy. So even Zara, who's 4, when this room is really tidy, it will stay tidy-ish for a bit. So she'll take a book and she'll put it back. But as soon as it starts to deteriorate, then, and I find this all over the house, as soon as it starts to deteriorate, then clutter attracts clutter. So people have a little bit less in the way of respect for an untidy place, in our house anyway. So the messier the house is, the more comfortable my family are in adding to that mess. Whereas if it's all largely tidy, they're less likely to dump things in the middle of the floor, sling things in a messy way into the bookshelf. But when things are neat and tidy, Zara will, for a little bit at least, put things back properly, and it just encourages her to do that. And I've got to say, I'm guilty of this. If there is clutter, you don't think twice about adding more clutter to a pile of clutter. And clutter hotspots in homes are a real thing. So for us, we've got the island in the kitchen, and if that is clear, it stays clear. But as soon as there's 1 or 2 things left on there, people just add to it, and then it accumulates until it's a total tip. Now I'm going to fully be very honest with you here. I'm just doing a very surface level because it's a power hour, clean and tidy. What I need to do is another full empty out the drawers, declutter them, put everything back properly, but that's going to have to be a job for another day. I think we have to be realistic in what we can achieve on certain days. Some days it's a power hour to make it just look cleaner and tidier. So that's Zara's castle corner in the corner. So those may look a bit jumbled or messy, but that's where the castles live. The rest of the room, you can now see the floor. I'm calling that progress. The table is a lot clearer. Her bed is made, and you can actually see the surface of that little dressing table-y drawers thing. So I'm calling this huge progress. Now to move into Bella's room, which has got a lot of stuff sort of shoved. The bed needs changing into her Christmas bedding. So I'm going to pull everything off. Much like Zara, Bella is very attached to all of these teddies on her bed, and that's where they have to live. So making the bed each morning is a bit more of a pain. She is better at doing it because she's 6, so she's more likely to actually make the bed without complaining. Don't get me wrong, she still does complain about it sometimes, but she's more likely at that age to just do it quite naturally. So, didn't mention this earlier, but I do like to mention it in every video. Popper up your bedding before you pop it into the washing. Future you will thank you because you won't lose as much stuff inside the bedding. I can't tell you how many times before I started popping up all the bedding, I would find things like pillowcases and stuff that had worked their way into the bedding. It still could happen through little gaps, but it's far less likely to happen when you pop your bedding. So do you do that? Do you popper or button your duvet cover before putting it in the wash? If not, give it a try, see if it makes a difference, report back to me. So this bed is the same bed as Zara's, but we've made it a little bit shorter. It's one of the IKEA ones to fit. Oh my goodness, I've just noticed what I've done. I couldn't find that. I'm going to find that again, aren't I? Did anyone spot the deliberate mistake there? I've got a pillowcase that I've left under the sheet in Bella's bed. I don't think I moved that. I think that's still there. I think after I've finished sorting out this video, I'm going to have to go up to Bella's bedroom and rescue the pillowcase that is under her sheet. Anyway, can't remember what I was even saying now. So distracted by my leaving the pillowcase under her sheet. The bed, right, the IKEA bed. So this is one of those IKEA beds. They do them in various colours. They are adjustable. You can make it shorter than this, or you can make it full length. Now, it looks quite short, but I can actually lie on this bed fully extended with my, knees straight and everything. I mean, I'm only 5'4". I'm not terribly tall, but for Bella, it's plenty big enough and will be for quite some time. I have looked at potentially putting a high bed in here so she can play underneath. The bedrooms in our house are not large, so we try to maximize the storage and things that we have. I'm currently standing on the edge of that bed, by the way. Children, I hope you're not watching this. Don't do this at home. I was just pulling all of the things out of the calyx and looking for extra pillowcases because I'd lost a pillowcase, hadn't I? I was thinking, where's that pillowcase gone? Where's it gone now? Now we know. We all know where it is. It's under this now reasonably neatly made bed. So I'm folding up Bella's blanket. That's got little princess embroidery on it and her name on it, so she loves that. And now it's time to find the other pillowcase that I've just found, not the one I've rescued from underneath, and put that pillow back. I can remember cleaning and tidying this day and going, I'm sure I got a pillowcase out. What did I do with it? Now we know, the mystery has been solved. So this is the Christmas bedding the girls have got, one of them anyway. It's the Ballerina Nutcracker Christmas bedding, and I do absolutely love it. If you've been following me for a while, you know I love pink, I love ballet, and obviously we all love Christmas. So now, Bella's little equivalent table, this is also from IKEA. Just needs a little wipe because quite frankly it's a little bit grim and dusty. Ugh. They do, as they say, sit and play and things, but they put drinks on them next to their beds to go to sleep. They have that little clock, that's the I think it's called the Grow clock, so that we put those on each night, and then when the sun comes up, they're allowed to get up out of bed. They know it's actually morning. Now to tidy up Bella's little desk dressing table thingy. This was an IKEA one, but then I bought the drawer knobs, the handles. Handles are a better word than knobs, isn't it? The drawer handles, the pink crystally ones, to just kind of personalise it a little bit. So I really wanted a dressing table my whole life, I think. I don't think I had one till I was in my 20s, so I really wanted the girls to have them, and Will's got a desk in his room, and so's Dylan. So anyway, I always wanted a dressing table. Bella has a dressing table because she's got a swivel chair. When Zara is a little bit older and less likely to do what she would do with a swivel chair at the moment, which is stand on it and then injure herself, we will swap her chest of drawers for a dressing table too. But at the moment, she's a little bit of a liability when it comes to standing on like a swivel chair. So that's Bella's room, just looking a little bit tidier. I've tidied up her dressing table, given it a little wipe over. Her bed's been changed. So all this bedding needs to go downstairs now to go in the wash. But first, as I've got this kind of cloth and stuff out, I'm going to do a little wipe around in my bedroom. Now my sheets could do with a change, but what I'm probably going to do is do them tomorrow, because if I do the children's bedding, I actually make my teenager change his own bed because he's more than capable. And when the children are home, I often get them involved in changing their beds, but today they're in school, so I got them to change theirs. Anyway, while I'm just wiping around you, and putting a load on. I just want to explain that I try not to change every bed in the house on the same day because it just creates so much washing. By attempting to change beds on different days, it avoids me having just masses and masses of laundry waiting to go in the machine. So now we had to take a break because I had to go and fetch the children from school. So now I've brought the girls up to show them what I've done with their rooms, and they are genuinely pleased. So they're chuffed about the Christmas bedding, but they just kept saying how happy they were that their rooms looked new and tidy. And when I asked them if they were going to keep them tidy, they said they really, really were, which, I mean, I hope so. I have high hopes for it. I'm not holding my breath, but I do think they're more likely to keep them a little tidier, because now tidying their room will be a bit more manageable because it's just tidying a couple of things rather than a whole mess of things. So that's the girls' rooms, the bed's changed, looking a lot tidier. I'm now going to tackle William's room. Now, William has been camping, as he calls it, underneath his main bed. So my plan is to turn his chair bed back into a chair, and he can actually sleep on his bed, and then he can use his chair bed as an actual chair. I know. Totally shocking, right? So now to change this high bed. It's not a ridiculous high bed. I think it's referred to as a mid sleeper, but quite frankly, it's still a pain in the backside to change. And it's because I'm only 5'4", but I mean, this is incredibly sped up, isn't it? It did not, I can only wish it took this amount of time. So that is... That is William's room done. That's William's bed changed. But basically, I'm just saying, short girl problems. Apparently, taller people, I have spoken to taller people, and they don't have to climb on the bed the way I had to, and it's a lot easier. So I hope this has given you a little bit of motivation to go and do a little something in your home, even if you've just got an hour. I spent about an hour. I got the 3 beds done. There's a lot of washing now to do. Got quite a lot of tidying done. It's looking a lot better. So thanks so much for watching. Pick a video from on screen now, and I'll see you guys over there. Bye.